All right, guys, we have Kyle Matuszewski on the podcast today from You're Behind Barbecue, who is currently top 10 ranked ancillary cook in the nation, according to the SCA. He's an accomplished KCBS cook, SCA cook, and hot dog cook. We actually could talk about that for a minute. And dude, the guy does it all. He's one of those cooks. So Kyle, introduce yourself.
What's up, guys? I'm glad I got the call to be on the Pitmaster podcast. I'm glad. I think I'm doing something right if I get the call saying, you guys want me on one of the best podcasts I've heard.
Appreciate it,
thanks, man.
Yes, sir. So anyways, I'm Kyle Matuszewski. You're Behind Barbecue. Waddell, Arizona. It's just a small town, about 30 minutes, west of Phoenix, or 30 minutes west of Phoenix. Cook KCBS, SCA contest, pretty much any contest, chili contest, whatever it is, we're in. My pops and I are in on this. So.
Nice. So what got you into competitive barbecue?
Well, what got me started was like growing up, like my dad, he was the cook in the family, and he was always up whipping up meals and providing for the family and stuff. And my dad, he would have parties at the house when I was younger, and he just loved to cook for everybody that would come over and hang out and, drink beers or wine in his case. So, and also Sundays were like a big deal at the house. We would, the family would come over. Family's always over on Sundays. We'd hang out. My dad cooked some food. We'd, swim in the pool, hang out, just hang out. And let's see. Well, in high school, I played football, and I was very, very competitive in high school. And I had a couple scholarships for some different colleges to take, try to take my game to the next level and everything. And then my senior year, I tore my ACL like 2 games before the season ended, and all the scholarship, everything went away, man. So during my rehab process, I was devastated. Like, what am I going to do? This is, it just sucked. So as I was rehabbing the knee and stuff, my dad and I found this show called Barbecue Pitmasters, and we were absolutely hooked to this TV show. And knowing like how much my dad loves to cook and loves to, do all that, I figured that this was something that probably him and I could, do together and hang out. So that Christmas, I went and bought him one of those Brinkman smokers. And at that time, I thought it was the real deal smoker. It was like $300 and, real thin, cheap, sheet metal type smoker. We literally cooked on that thing every weekend. Family would come over and it was barbecue. We got so sick of eating barbecue, but we loved it. It was just something him and I would do. We'd hang out outside, drink some beers, and just watch the smoker, adding charcoal to it. After that, I found a contest online. It was through Arizona Barbecue, the Arizona Barbecue Society we used to have. And they were there was a KCBS contest in Scottsdale, Arizona, and they were promoting it big time. And it was $100 entry fee. And I said, screw it, let's do it, man. We got one smoker. So then my dad and I went to a barbecue store out here called Barbecue Island, and the owner hooked us up with 2 WSMs, Smoky Mountains. So we got 2 of those in this Brinkman smoker. We threw it all in this Breaking Bad looking motorhome. And we drove this sucker all, we got to Scottsdale, beautiful baseball. It's where the Diamondbacks play, or that's where their practice is at. And it was right on their field, the practice fields and all that.
Wow.
We go rolling in, man, thinking we're going to kill it. Well, little did I know, there was like 150 or 160 teams signed up. And I didn't realize how big of a deal this was. And so we got camps set up. And of course, I said, well, we're going to start drinking because we're going to cook some, meat. And so then this trailer next to it, or these guys pull up next to us and dressed real nice. They got this, I've never seen a barbecue trailer before. So it's got this super sweet barbecue trailer. It's got a porch. It's got a Jambo in the back, bright yellow. And the team was called Team Eno Serve. And little did I know is they were ranked number 1 in the nation in KCBS at that time. And we started talking to them. I kind of moseyed on, started talking to them, and they pulled out a couple cases of Jim Beam. And there's probably 12 or 18 bottles.
Dang.
And I said, so what are you, what's going on with that? He said, we're sponsored by Jim Beam, and they're going to have some of their corporate people here in Arizona are going to come out here, and we're going to feed them for Friday night. And I was like, holy, sponsored by Jim Beam. And here we are looking like a bunch of rednecks over here. It's our first contest. I get it. So anyways, we threw the brisket on probably at 11 o'clock at night on Friday night. And we fed it charcoal all night till about, I think it was done at like 4 or 5 in the morning. Brisket was done. So, we didn't know. Screw it. We wrapped it up in towels, threw it in an ice chest, just from everything we read online. And so we finished the contest. It was all good. And the awards came, and they called the top 10, and we didn't know what was going on. And they give us score sheets at the end. Well, we ended up finished 12th in chicken out of, the 100, I'm going to call it 150 teams. And, we were jacked, man. We were like, this is something we can do. This is a getaway. We can get away from all the crap, and we could just, him and I just hang out and go to these little barbecue contests. But anyway, we started traveling around. They had probably one a month here in Arizona. And the next contest is where we met Sterling Smith with Loot and Booty. He was our neighbor. He helped us out a ton. Phil the Grill was right across from us. And, them two together is a giant party. Mm-hmm. So, it was, that's pretty much how we got started, man. I mean, just slowly learning tips and tricks off those guys and traveling around.
Hell yeah. Talk about going all in.
Right?
Yeah.
And that was, you started back in 2012, right?
Yes, 2012. So
you've been around a minute.
Yes.
And recently you've kind of switched over to this SEA contest, but you do steak, and you do a mighty fine steak. I've had it. It's delicious.
Thank you.
But you're kind of an ancillary cook as well. And you do really well. You're nationally ranked right now. I want to say you're 7th place.
7th or 6th or 7th.
6th or 7th.
I think the new results are supposed to come out soon. So.
And you have 15 points, if I remember correctly. And, it's funny because you look at it and there's someone with 70 points, but they go to, they can cook whenever they want to at will. Us out here out West, we don't get that opportunity. So you haven't had an opportunity to cook a lot, and you're still top 7. And that's quite an accomplishment. So as someone who does ancillaries and still gets wildly confused, I took the class, Brett was like, don't worry about putting anything in your box, and I'm come from KCBS and there's part of me that goes, oh, hell yes. Okay. I'm not going to do that. Then there's another part of me goes, oh shit, what's going to happen? Now I've seen your boxes, man, and the box like a work of art. What kind of process goes into you doing your ancillaries, boxes, recipes, execution? Help someone out who might struggle like I do, and maybe are just starting out to get into the ancillary part.
Rusty's asking for help right now.
I am, and I can specifically do. And if you don't want to tell me on the podcast, my email is
Rusty at the pitmasterspodcast.com.
That's right.
So we don't have a lot of contests out here yet, which I think it's coming, but as of right now, it's not. When I sign up for an SCA contest, I look to see what the side category is. So for instance, if it's ribs, the side category is ribs. I think to myself, okay, everybody there that's going to be doing the ribs is probably going to do a KCBS style rib or KCBS style, rib turn-in box type deal. So I like to shoot for something totally different, like off the wall. I have a video coming out about the latest ribs I did. So for the rib category, I'll wrap. I cook the ribs normal. I season them normal, and like I normally would do for a Kansas City Barbecue Society contest. And then I would wrap them in bacon. I would slice the ribs, and I'd wrap each rib in bacon and put it back on the smoker to cook. And then I would create a wild, different tasting type barbecue sauce. Like there's a popular takeout barbecue restaurant called Uno Hawaiian. I'm not sure if you guys know that. I can make a sauce that's close to that. And that's what I would use to sauce the ribs. And as far as the box, if you go to like a restaurant and, you know, you're sitting waiting for your table and they say, okay, your table's ready. And they take you to your table, you know, you're not just like looking straight. I mean, I'm always like kind of looking at what people's got, you know, what the food looks like, because what looks good, what doesn't look good. And, you know, pretty much when you're walking through there, everything looks good. And you're like, wow, that looks really good. I'm going to try to find that on the menu. So when a judge gets your box and opens it up and they're supposed to grab one piece, shut the box, pass it on. When they open that box, they're going to look at all this, you know, how creative and how much time you took to do your box. Like you didn't just throw it in there. You just didn't take your time and, you know, dress the box. So for instance, for the ribs, what I did is I would grill some pineapples, put some grill marks on some pineapples, and I would layer the bottom of that box. And then on the side, I would also put the grill mark pineapples in that box. So it was like a pineapple Hawaiian flavored type looking rib, you know. So the judge ain't supposed to do it, but I think you eat with your eyes. I think everybody does. And if you look at something and you say, damn, that looks good. Yeah. Your appearance is automatically going up. I mean, if it looks good, they're gonna start and say, yeah, we're gonna go ahead and give this guy a 9 for that. So I like to dress the box. I like to shoot for the moon, man. Like whatever you think people are regularly going to be doing, do something totally different. Be totally different from everybody else.
Right. So you think
that's what I've been doing.
So you think that's an advantage, even though the judges aren't supposed to look at the box, they're still opening up that box and taking their piece.
100%. That's an advantage. Because I mean, think about it. You turn in ribs. Let's say wings. You turn in wings. You don't have any garnish or anything in the box. You lay 5 drums and you lay 5 flats. Okay, you take that to the table, drop it off, sign your ticket. So they got it, and you know they're walking, and they could be stumbling. They could, you know, and your wings are just moving in the box. So when they open it, they're going to see sauce everywhere, sauce on the bottom of the box. That doesn't look good. Sauce on the bottom of the box, and they're just going to grab a wing, and they're like, you know, this it's all right. It's a chicken wing. But if you have something in that box, whether it's parsley, whether it's, you know, if it's an Asian inspired wing, you had Asian noodles down at the bottom of the box and your wings ain't moving. They're sitting in those noodles. They're sitting on the parsley. They're not moving. So they're going to open that thing and they're going to be like, wow, look at that. And they're going to take the wing out and they're excited to eat that. I feel like when they see that, they're excited.
Yeah. So, it's like one of those things, like they don't get a long time to look at that box. And so in that short 0.5 seconds, if they open up and go, wow, that's their mentality, and that translates to taste. It does.
Exactly.
If they look up and they go, oh my gosh, did someone trip with this box? That it negatively affects the taste. Now, you're going to have to do a lot to get back. It's not to say that all is lost, but you're going to have to do a lot of taste to get back. You know, you're going to have to do that extra little bit to get their that trust back in their head.
Yeah. You got a lot of catching up to do.
One question, though. In KCBS, it's not allowed, but if you were to put grilled pineapple in, technically the rule is it'd have to eat the pineapple. What's the rule in SCA?
I believe they have to eat everything in the box. I'm not 100% sure, but I always put edible stuff at the bottom. Like sometimes it'll be a parsley box, but I'm hardly doing parsley anymore. I'll create a theme with whatever I'm making. So for instance, you know, teriyaki style wings. Well, I'm going to have some kind of Asian inspired noodle, maybe rice or something at the bottom of that box.
Oh, cool.
Right. Well, SCA says if it has to be edible, that goes in the box, whatever. So whatever the judge takes out, that's what they're going to eat. So if, for example, if you're doing the ribs, they're most likely going to take the ribs. They're not going to take the pineapple. It's just a gamble you're willing to take, I guess. So
I'll take it every time.
Yep. Right.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, you do kill it in the ancillary gig here, but there's not a lot of contests. Hopefully that'll change soon, and we'll be able to get a lot more here. You know, we're not fortunate like those Midwesters, you know, so.
Yeah, they have a contest every weekend. Where we live, we can't compete in an SCA every weekend like some of these guys. Some of these guys can drive 4 hours, literally 4 hours in any direction, and they can hit an SCA contest at any time. So I'm thinking, okay, what I want to do is I want to be able to walk that stage. Like I want to be able to walk that stage. So I was thinking, I need to get my golden ticket early. I need to work hard and try to get that golden ticket early. I get that golden ticket early, I can do ancillaries. I can make a name and get on that stage doing ancillaries. So luckily I got my golden ticket in January, and I probably shouldn't have, but I focused all my energy on ancillaries instead of my stake, and my stake has kind of, dropped a little bit. But, it's nice to get a call on stake. It's nice to do that. It's nice to get the money. It's all that. But I already have my golden ticket. I'm already in the dance. I want to be top 10, however high I can get in ancillaries, and I want to walk that stage. I mean, that's my total mindset right now.
Well, it sounds like you need to move to Tennessee.
I know, right?
where the B&B flows. Is that what you said last week, Rusty?
Well, everything flows. It's like they walk to Walmart and they trip over an SCA contest. You're like, oh shit, excuse me. Didn't see you there.
True. It's true, man. It's
Hold on,
crazy.
wait a sec. Let me go grab my my gallon of milk. I'll be right back to cook this. Give me just 1 second. They're everywhere. So
yeah, I hope it gets like that out here one day, man. I think it will, but I just hope it gets like that, because how awesome would that be to compete and get top 10 and to compete in points for stake,
Yeah. And have
like
an opportunity.
Like right now, all we can do is ancillaries, man. I mean,
it's like you look at a map, you look at the SCA, go to SCA.com, stake cookoffsociation.com, and you look at the map version of it, right? It looks like that Midwest has got like a severe case of chicken pox, and we're like almost over it. We just got 4 or 5 more left, and over there they're like, oh man, it's probably that's severe. And so
totally agree.
I hope that it becomes that one day too. And who knows, it could have, and I think it will,
I think it will too.
Last year there was ramping up here in the West. Yeah. We had a lot, and considering what's happening, we have a lot now. Utah stepped up to the plate and did 5, 6.
That's awesome, man. I had fun at every single one of those, man.
And Arizona, they kind of shut off completely. So did California, but they're kind of keep poking their heads up.
California's kind of staying steady. I know that what is that, Barbecue HQ in Simi Valley. I mean, they're constantly having contests. I think they're going to start picking up too.
Mm-hmm.
It'd be cool is to have like a tri-state contest where it's there's a couple contests in Arizona, a couple contests in California, a couple in Vegas, a couple in Utah, and just everybody compete for that in that division, or they can call it whatever.
That would be really cool.
That would be cool.
It'd be fun to travel and do all that.
I think we were talking about that once, weren't we? About having like split it up into like
regions, like
the NFL does. NFL's NFC South, and and then the winners go and compete at. That was John Lindsay, wasn't it?
Yeah.
And then the winners go and compete like that in the championship, and it's like the Super Bowl. Like we all got there. That would be kind of
cool. That championship's wild, man. It's like Saturday, like you have to cook your ass off to just at least place top 10 in your category to even compete for the world championship, to even get to the dance. So you're doing, you're in the little dance, and then you can go to the big one.
So let's jump into stake. When did you first start doing SCAs? How did that come about?
I would say my first one was about 2 years ago. 2 years ago in San Diego. It was at a KCBS contest. It was the first SCA, I think, on the West Coast. And I remember hearing about them, seeing them a little bit, but I didn't know a whole lot. I knew they gave you a steak and you got to cook it. And I've seen the grill marks. And Poncho and Lefty, actually, I was following them on Facebook, and I would see some of their lives they used to do, and their steak marinades and their all this. So I got everything I could do. And so my dad and I entered that contest in San Diego. It was at the boat races. We were vending again, doing a barbecue contest, SCA, and my dad, I was trying to tell him, he had this little Weber Smoky Mountain, the real small Webers, and I bought grill grades for him, and I was telling him, hey, you need to put grill marks on your steak. He starts drinking. He's like, no, I'm cooking a steak how I want to cook the steak. Okay, man, whatever you want. Back then I bought a brand new PK. I'm thinking, I'm going to start doing steaks. I was practicing, but I didn't know what I was doing. So I'm cooking the steak and I'm looking over. My dad hasn't put his steak on yet. He's just sitting back. And I'm like, hey man, you need to put your steak on. Don't worry about me. I'm like, okay. So I finish my steak and I run it in. I turn it in. I come back. My dad's out there. He's got his cast iron pan. He's got 2 steaks in the cast iron pan. I'm like, what are you doing, man? I'm cooking a steak. I'm like, all right. And he's brushing it with butter and all this. And it looked good. I helped him put it in the box because that was the time, they didn't, however you put it in the box, that was it. So I was making sure the spinalis was up front and all that. And he was like, it was like 1 minute before he had to turn in, and turn-ins were far. And I was like, we got to go, man. No, I can't turn this in. You turn it in. I was like, no, let's go. So I had to help him up there, turn it in. So they also had a taco ancillary too. And so we go to awards. Awards were that night at like 9 or 10 o'clock at night. And I got 5th place tacos, and my dad got 7th place tacos. And he was all pissed off, man. He thought his tacos was the greatest thing in the world. And so he gets up and starts leaving. I'm like, where are you going? He's like, I'm going to go check on the smoker. I was like, we got steak awards, like right now. Nah, I don't care. I'm like, Dad, sit your ass down. Let's just finish this and we'll be good. The smoker's fine. So they're calling everybody, they're 5, 4, 3, 2. So, they announce one. They announced the first place winner. He stands up and starts walking. I'm like, Dad, where are you going? He shows me his ticket and just shines. I'm like, no way. He goes stumbling up there, and I'm just shaking my head, man. Like, I got grill grates. I got all this shit for him ready to go, and he cooked in a cast iron pan, man.
There you go, Rusty. It can happen.
It can happen for me.
That was our first contest, our first SBA.
That's
when we started
awesome.
About 2 years ago.
You hear that, people? You can sear a steak, all right? I can't. My teammates can. I can't.
Yeah. Kyle's dad can. I cannot.
Unbelievable.
That's
crazy.
crazy.
I can't either, man.
Right?
That's unbelievable.
That's nuts.
And he got his golden ticket. He didn't care. He's like, he got his check, and we're walking. I'm like, do you know what you just did? He's like, yeah, it's all good. He said, we're going to go cook this food. I'm like, no. We're going to the World Championship. Mm-hmm. You're going to the World Food Championship. He's like, no, we're not doing it. I'm like, I'm telling you right now, that's what that golden ticket means. So like, I had to Google it. It's midnight, man. I got to be up at like 5 to put a fucking brisket on. And I'm just like, all right, man, I'm done explaining. I'm just letting you know this is what happened. This is, it's all good, whatever. But anyways, yeah. So he tore it up.
That's awesome.
Yeah. As soon as you went to sleep, he started dancing.
Yeah, I know, right?
He's like, wait, that's cool, man. That's a cool.
Yeah, that's really cool.
So, you've obviously done a lot since then. What is your approach to steak now? I follow you on Facebook and all of the socials, which, by the way, you guys can too. You're Behind Barbecue.
Nice.
On all socials, and you do a lot of practicing. I mean, once you get going, you're practicing a lot. What does your process look like before a contest?
All right, so I'll let you in on a little secret. So, plus we're close to the holidays. Mm-hmm. Okay, so around, I think it's, I'm not sure if it's on Thanksgiving or it's around Thanksgiving. I think it's right after Thanksgiving. Whole ribeye roasts, prime rib roasts go on sale, and I'm talking they're like $50, $40, $50 for a whole roast.
Wow.
So I will go and drop the bank on these roasts. I will buy a whole bunch of them. I got 2 big freezers, and I load the freezers up. So before every SCA contest, about 2 weeks before, I'll pull a roast out. I'll slice my own steaks. I can get about 20, maybe 18 to 20 of them steaks. Pull them out. And you got everything from tri-heart all the way down to just spinalis. You got the whole shebang. So every night after work, I'll do my routine on the steak, take it outside, and I'll cook one, man. So I'm doing 18 to 20 steaks a week and a half to 2 weeks before a contest.
Wow.
So my advice is, because nobody's going to afford to buy steaks all the time, man. You're just not going to be able to do it. But when they sell those prime rib roasts and they're on sale for the holidays, you need to load up on those and pull a prime rib out, let it thaw, slice it up, and you got 20 steaks to cook before your contest.
Dude, that's awesome.
Genius.
And I just want to point this out. I've said this on the past. This is a podcast.
There you go.
Thank you. I appreciate that. Without you, Anthony, I don't know if I'd just be stuck there for an hour trying to figure out this word or not.
Yeah,
you know what? Hey, it's don't practice until you get it right, man. It's practice until you can't get it wrong.
That's what I was just about to say. And I say that, I quote that all the time. And I really wish I didn't know you and I wasn't around the circles you are so I can claim it as my own. But it's perfect because, and I also actually just told my team that this past week, I'm like, listen, guys, we're not practicing to get perfect. We're practicing not to get wrong, like a shadow box, like those boxers out there, they're learning those little things that they'll just rely on when the crunch time's down, when things get hairy. I've practiced enough to know what's happening now because I have that muscle memory. Probably the best advice I've ever heard when it comes to cooking, competition cooking, period. So, you're not there. If it's not right, it's not right. Great. But at least, hey, was it medium? And you got it every single time. Cool. Yeah. You're building on that. Yep. How was your temperatures? Were they consistent? Great. Now you're building on that. And those things that you build up, if you do them enough, you're just going to go and just know it. And it's just going to put itself into place when you're in the middle of everything. So that was great advice.
If it's super windy outside, go outside and cook, man. Go see how your grill handles that. So what if you're at a contest and it's windy? Or if it's super rainy outside, if it's storming, if it's lightning, take your grill out and go cook, man. Go cook a steak. See how your grill's going to react. That saved my ass one time. My buddy and I drove to Amarillo, Texas for a double. And little did I know, that was the windiest city, one of the, I think it was top 5 windiest cities in the U.S. But I didn't bring any weights for the canopy. I didn't bring, what else did I bring? Whatever else I didn't bring. I'm holding the canopy down and trying to season my steak. I can't season my steak because the seasoning is just flying away. So I had to go inside my truck and, set the cutting board up and, season my steaks and all that. But then I knew where to position my grill, how my grill works when it's windy out, because I practiced that at the house. I said, no big deal. And my buddy was struggling.
Nice.
He was struggling. So, that's, if it's weather, whatever the weather is, take your grill out and cook, man. You got to know how your grill reacts.
There's no wind anywhere. Right. Someone's out there like 4 fans. Like, what the hell are you doing? It's going to be windy. I'm going to Amarillo. Or you think you might be going to Arizona and you're like, man, hell yeah, I'm going to go cook Arizona. It's going to be great.
80 degrees.
It's going to be 80 degrees. I'm going to be pimping. I'm just going to be sitting there in my chair and just basking in the sun while I'm cooking my ribs. No.
Had to rain the whole time, right?
Rains. It's cold as hell.
Yep.
Anyway,
you perform the best when the weather's not right.
Yeah.
Well, it's because I live in Utah. I cook when the weather's not right all the time.
Yes.
I don't know why that barbecue contest out here every year is bad, man. It's 30 degrees. It's cold.
And we're going out this year. And we're going to lose just because it's Arizona. Place is a black hole.
I don't know what I think Utah is at, man. I can't.
It's a thing.
I couldn't get a steak call in Utah if I tried, man.
It's a thing. Do it. It's an absolute thing. 100%.
I couldn't do it.
So cooking. So you practice with that. You practice with the elements, getting out and cooking when you see it. Like we do that too. Like we'll make sure we cook in the snow, because we can. And you never know. Like when we went to
never know.
Glendive, Arizona, and it was Glendive, Arizona. See, it's just embedded in my brain. Glendive, Montana.
There it is.
In the middle of summer, and it was like hurricane winds, and it was snowing and raining. And it was just crazy. So you just never know, man. Get out there. If you think it's bad weather, that's perfect. It's just like the steak, Cook the try-hards, cook the ones without it, cook the ones with no spinalis, because you never know. Like this last contest in California, it was 2 kinds of steak. There was one with a grotesque amount of try-hard and spinalis. Then the rest were like no spinalis, and there was like 3 that had good spinalises, So you never know. You never know what you're going to walk up and
that's why I said, pull that prime rib out, buy prime rib and cook that, slice that up, because you'll have, you got every part of that whole ribeye right there. You got from try-hards all the way down to just spinalis to maybe no spinalis.
Yep. That's amazing. In fact, I'm going to do that 100%. I just got to clean out my freaking freezer because all these freaking KCBS competitions, I have so much pork.
And brisket.
Oh,
If anyone wants sausage in the next 2 weeks, hit me up. It's free. Just come
want
get it.
some. I want some.
Just line up at my house. Just come over when I don't even care. Unannounced. Just take my sausage, please. So anyway, KCBS. Let's talk a little bit about that. How long you've been doing KCBS since 2012?
2012, yeah.
Yeah. So, where do you stand on case? So here's the thing: you get a lot of these big KCBS cooks.
Yeah.
I'm looking at you, Jerry Aguilar, who do a great job, but then they get in the SCA gang and they don't want to necessarily do the KCBS anymore. Where do you stand on that line?
You know, I think I'm barbecue till it dies, man. But you know, I'm probably not going to drive out of my way to go do a KCBS contest, but I will drive the 14 hours to Dixon, California to do a steak contest. Why? I don't know, but I'm having a lot of fun with these steaks, man. But you know, KCBS I really like KCBS. I like the barbecue contest. I mean, that's my go-to, but I don't know, man. I'm falling in love with this steak thing, and I think this steak thing is gonna take over, man. Because it's cheap for people to put on, for promoters to put on.
Mm-hmm. Probably more profitable too, even if it's just a little bit.
Yeah.
So,
well, and you travel light and fast too. You know, you just literally throw everything in the back of your vehicle and you're gone.
Yeah,
dude. I had in Dixon. I was scheduled to go to Dixon, California. My brother got a houseboat. He was going to take everybody on the houseboat. And I was like, nah, I kind of don't want to do that. I kind of want to go cook a steak. So he took my truck. He put all my, my dad, my brother, sister, everybody was in there. They took my truck. And I was like, well, I got my little car my little commuter that I take back and forth to work. Like, I think I can throw everything in there. That thing was filled to the max, but I got everything in there, man. I was pumped about it. And we drove all the way to Dixon, no problem.
That's the best part. We went in a minivan, me and Nathan Benson. So
there you go.
Mom boss.
You can't do that in KCBS.
No, you cannot. Well, actually, you can. We did take the mom boss to Montana, but you have to have a mom boss bus or sticker. Or no, it's my license plate.
License plate. Yeah.
No, it's girl mom. It's girl mom. So if you see me rolling up in a contest with girl mom, it's my wife's car. So maybe. Got lost my train. I had a really cool question too loaded up there. I was really excited about it. I lost it. The mom boss ruined it. Anyway, so SCA. Okay, I'm back. All right. So you have a couple sponsors that are, especially, let's talk about M Grills for just a minute. You're sponsored by M Grills.
Yes, sir.
Great cookers. I went down there with Travis McGee and I cooked on a big M. And not only was it the most fun cooker I've ever cooked on, but it was the best brisket I've ever had in my entire life. And it was just a Costco Prime. And a random wanted that. So tell me about M Grills. Tell me about your M16, what you love about it. Why did you move from M16 or PKs to M16? Talk about the cooker.
Well, that was the M16, I think, compared to the barbecue world, is the Jambo of steak cookers. I mean, it looks beautiful. I bought we did the steak contest in California and, we were kind of hooked on it and I kind of wanted to practice and be able to go to the championship with my dad, so get a golden ticket. And there wasn't a lot of contests. And then I remembered seeing one in Utah and I hit up Fidel and I was like, hey man, if I fly up there, can I cook under your canopy? And he's like, well, what are you going to cook on? He's like, well, there's this M grill that literally can fit in a suitcase. It was called the C4. So I bought the C4 and it looks like an ammo can, maybe a little bit bigger than an ammo can. And I was cooking on that C4 and I was like, this is all I need, man. I can throw this in a suitcase and fly to any contest I want. Because, that's all I need as long as I borrow stuff. But no, I just started cooking on that thing, man. And I was staying top 10 pretty consistently in some of the contests that we went to. I mean, there wasn't that many. There was probably 5 contests. And I was staying pretty consistently with that. And so then my dad started cooking on it. And, I got in touch with Travis on Facebook. And he was starting to comment on my stuff. And, I was really looking at this M16. Then we went to the championship. My dad cooked the state championship. And that Sunday was the open. So I kind of hunted Travis down. And, we were talking. And he's like, hey, man. He really wanted to get his grill or his brand out to the West Coast out here. And So he hooked me up with an M16, and he said, I want you to start cooking on this. I want you to be part of Team M Grills, just do some posts. I want you to kick some ass on this thing. And, so I practiced a lot, man. And I'm glad I could take my first golden ticket with the M16. But, they're just awesome, man. It's all fully stainless steel. It's just a super, super badass grill, man. It's unbelievable.
Nice. What are you using to fuel it? What are you putting in there?
Well, that's a funny story. So I was with Jealous Devil for a while. I've been with them for about 2 years, and they're starting to get away from more of the contest cooks. They don't want to help. I shouldn't say that. They are getting away from the contest guys. They're getting more into the social media, and they requested that we start posting a lot of pictures, and we're tagging them in, and which I kind of already do because I cook all the time. And anything I cook, I'll take a picture of. So they let a few of us know that, hey, we're not posting enough. We need to, so they kind of let us go. And Fogo has always been, Fogo Charcoal has always been, at the back door saying, hey, you need to come jump on. So I'm officially on Team Fogo right now.
Nice.
Officially yesterday.
So how do you handle those logs that they send you? Because they send you logs, bro, not just pieces of charcoal. We're talking full blown. You can see the wood grain logs.
Yeah. No, I haven't really had it. I had a few bags that were like that. But what I've done is I've literally picked a bag. They sent me a whole pallet. So I got this whole pallet in my backyard now. I pick the bag up. I drop it on the ground, which you really don't need to, but sometimes I'll just drop it on the ground, pull it up, and I can put the chunks and stuff in there. But I was using the Jealous Devil briquettes, and then I switched and I started using the Fogo Premium. And the stuff, the way it burns, kind of the flavor that it puts off is unbelievable, man. It's just the kiss of smoke, what you should call it, that touches your steak or your barbecue. I mean, it's unbelievable, man. It gives this whole different taste. So I'm very pumped about it.
I love Fogo. I think it's Rockwood. I'm partial to Rockwood, but man, Forgo's not Forgo. If it's Forgo, Fogo is not far behind. They have it's one of my favorite my favorite go-to, especially if I'm doing a longer cook. Yep. You get those premiums. It's really good. So are you cooking with the briquettes when you do an SEA, or are you cooking with the lump?
No, just lump. Okay. I don't know why it is, but I mean, I cook a lot better with lump. I don't know. I figured briquettes would be better. Briquettes just didn't work for me, man. And the reason why, I have always used the lump too, is because that heated up my C4 instantly. Like, I mean, when I wanted 600 degrees, that sucker was at 600 degrees. If you light a full chimney and put it in the C4. The briquettes, I mean, I constantly had to keep feeding that thing briquettes to keep it up to temp.
You wouldn't think it, man. That C4, it takes 2 chimneys for me to get that up when I'm using briquettes. 2. Yeah. To get that thing up. And it's just a little boy, you're like thinking, I'm going to put half a chimney in it. No.
Yeah.
You got to fill that thing 1,000 times. It's like a charborough.
You got to think about
that thing an hour ahead of time.
Yeah.
And then I'd have to just keep feeding it charcoal to keep it up to temp.
Yeah, well, the lump is actually perfect for steaks because it's going to get hot fast and then it's just going to be done. It's perfect timing for steaks. But briquettes are for your longer cooks. You're going to run it for a longer time.
And that's the best thing about Fogo, man. Is I'll light a chimney full. I'll put it in there. I mean, my grill's ready to go. I used to light my grill probably about an hour to 45 minutes before. I'm ready at like 45 minutes to 30 minutes. I'm lighting, my grill's ready to roll. But you shut the vents, that thing dies off, man, and you still got charcoal ready to go for your next cook. Like, I don't ever toss my charcoal. I mean, unless it's burnt down all the way, but most of the time it's not. The Fogo stuff stays, and it's, all
right, another Fogo guy, Pitmaster X.
Yep.
He does the same thing. He will recycle his charcoal. Yep. I've done that one time. It might just been in my head, but I don't feel like the cook the next time it felt like I had more of a carbony flavor to it.
Really?
Is there any truth to that? And again, it could just be in my head, thinking, oh, well, you can't reuse charcoal, Yeah.
Yeah. No, I reuse charcoal all the time, man. Like because if not, I mean, you'd be, how much charcoal you'd be going through if you're cooking steaks all the time? you're going through a lot.
So
And
do you just take it and shake off and just get the ash out, or how do you do it?
Well, in the M16, there's a charcoal basket in there. So I'll close all the lids, or I'll close the vents, close it down, let it cool down. And then when I get home, I'll take the charcoal basket out, and there's still charcoal in the basket, but then there's a pan underneath. I'll just dump the ash out, and I still got charcoal. So then I'll light another chimney, just depending on how much charcoal I have in my M16, and I'll dump that chimney right into the basket.
Cool. And so do you notice pretty consistent temps with lump as opposed to briquettes? Because I admittedly have never used lump for steak. I use briquettes exclusively. So I like the consistency, and that's what you always hear, the consistency of heat. Is that the same with lump charcoal? You get that same consistent heat, or does it fluctuate on you at a higher temperature?
No, I think it's the same. I don't have any fluctuation or anything like that. No.
Okay.
No, cool. I stay the same.
So question.
Yep.
Keep them coming, Rusty.
Well, that's what we do here, right? We ask questions.
It's all good, man.
That's my job.
Yep.
That's my job. So you got M Grills, you got, all these sponsorships. Someone out there who wants to do that, who, so how does that happen? These guys, I know that sometimes they'll come to you, but most of them don't. What do you would say to someone who's saying, "Hey, Kyle, man, how you doing this? How can I do something like this?"
I would say, man, is you just need to cook a lot and take a bunch of pictures. Take a lot of pictures and start posting it. I know you probably don't want to be that guy, but I sometimes don't. But you know what? I'll post. I post it anyways. And if there's a product that you really like using and it's really helping you out, start tagging them in your posts. Start tagging them in everything you're using them in, and just kind of explain in the post what you've been using. And then sometimes they'll slide in the DMs and say, "Hey, what's going on? I've really enjoyed that, blah, blah, blah." And then, you can kind of bring it up and kind of talk about it. But all I've been doing, man, is I would just post stuff, and I would be tagging these guys. And I literally use their products. Like I'm not the guy that's going to go out and, ask everybody, hey, want to sponsor me? Hey, can I get free stuff? No, I don't do that. I only tag the people of the stuff that I really do use. Like, I'm not just, hey, I want free stuff. No, I don't want any of that. If I'm using your stuff, like hey man, I am all in. I'm dedicated. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I would just say, just tag people, man.
All right. So I need to change all my posts to @Xbox Series X.
Yes. There you go. Everything.
I need to get an Xbox.
So I have a question. So with you traveling and everything, what's that one tool that you're like, if I forget this, I'm going to fail?
One tool.
Yeah. What's your go-to barbecue tool that you need to have? It's kind of an uncomfortable question, but
no, I'm just thinking, see, I got to have my grill. See, it just depends, because the one barbecue tool, I would say my Thermapen, like I need that. That's a must. I always, before contests, when I'm cooking, I'll find out what the side category is too. I'm kind of bringing that back in, but whatever the side category is, I have to make a list of everything that I must have to execute this side category. Because I already kind of have a list of all the steak stuff that I need. And, it's like a dry erasable thing. So I can just mark off everything. Okay, loaded that. So I got it pretty narrowed down. But yeah, I would say the one tool, man, I can't go anywhere without my Thermapen. I agree
100%. You can't cook a proper steak if you don't have your Thermapen.
No.
I agree.
Anything, I can't. Yeah.
Mine's a car.
Yours a car.
Yeah, well, yeah.
But after that, Thermapen's hella good.
Yeah.
So, it's getting into the back into the cooking bit. You win a lot of ancillaries. You do very well in everything. And like I said, your food, guys, I know you can't taste it. You probably, most of you for now anyway, won't be around Kyle to taste it. Really, really good stuff. But the best part is that when you're done with most of these, you go ahead and you share them on your YouTube channel.
Yep.
And kind of work through how to do it. Like, okay, we did this. And so what you do is you share the recipe.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Yeah. Every one of, so what I thought of was, I kind of want to get a YouTube thing going.
Mm-hmm.
And since we've been doing pretty good in the side categories, is every time we place, a top third or top 3 or higher, let's make a video of how we did it. You know, so every month I'm going to post a video, and I'll always say, you know, hey, this took first place, or this took second place, or, you know, whatever the award-winning thing is. You know, it's probably a bunch of random stuff if somebody random was looking at it. But every single one of those videos that I've posted on there, they have all either won first place or took second place.
Wow. And the one I would talk about earlier, the bacon wrapped wings, are on there now.
Yeah. Yep,
and
they're on there.
I've said on the podcast before, I'm not a bacon wrapped fan. I'm not. And there's reasons, because one, I suck at cooking bacon wrap things, because for some reason I can't get them to stick. I have a lot of problems with it. Okay. We don't have to get into it right now. But when I had those wings, it was like a chicken, you know, like a chicken in a KCBS contest. You bit right through that skin. You know, it was a perfect bite. The bacon didn't come off with it. It came right through it. Really, really good. I told Nate, I said, Nate, have you had his chicken wings? Yeah, I go, no. I go, I don't want to go back. Go get another one for me. You know, like, like I feel like,
you know what? I have to give that to the Vortex, man. If you guys have never used a Vortex, you need to use a Vortex. That's how I get my chicken every time.
Explain what a Vortex is to those who haven't used one yet.
So a Vortex, it sits in the middle of your Weber kettle, right where your charcoal goes. It's a stainless steel. It's like a sheet metal cone that's kind of up like a volcano, and you fill that up with charcoal. You put some starters in there. You can use that as a starter, or use your regular starter, fill it up with charcoal, and dump that charcoal inside of this Vortex. So what that Vortex does is it puts all the heat together and comes up into like a cone. It comes straight up and hits the very top of your kettle lid. So wherever it's going to hit the lid, and it's going to disperse, and it's going to try to find that vent to vent out. So all of your heat that thing's producing is going straight out through that vent. So you're going to put your wings. You literally can cook anything on this thing. So you literally put your food in a circle around this Vortex, close the lid, and you start a timer for 12 minutes. So you're going to start at, like, say, the 12 o'clock position. With the charcoal fully lit, your food's on, put your lid on for 12 minutes. Then you're going to rotate that lid to the 3 o'clock position. Do that for 12 minutes. Rotate it again to the 6, and then 12 minutes, and then rotate it to the 9 for 12 minutes. By the time you get to the 9 o'clock, your chicken, your wings, your whatever you have on there will be done. So, I mean, it's just a high heat, high intensity. I absolutely love the thing. I cook on the thing 3 times a night, or 3 times a week, I should say.
Well, a night, that's a lot of cooking.
But it's the best. It's the best chicken thighs I've ever had in my entire life. Like, wow. I am truly sold on this thing. It's absolutely perfect.
Once again, we're talking about the Weber kettle.
It's on the way. It only goes on the Weber kettle. That's the only way it'll work.
Yeah, and I want to get, because I grew up on a Weber kettle. You know, I don't know why I got away from the damn thing. You know, I don't know what people put PKs in my head for and all that stuff.
And you know, on OfferUp, Facebook Marketplace, Craigslist, people are selling Webers for like $10. I picked up a Weber not too long ago. It's a 1954 or something like that. Weber. I got it for $10, man. But
wow.
Yeah, that's what I cooked my wings on in where we were at, Dixon.
Let's talk about Dixon for just a second. I want to talk about I know this is like, well, we're already past that, but I think it's really important. How do you deal with, because I remember both of us were having an issue in Dixon with the elevation. You know, we came down a whole lot more than you did, and you didn't come down that much, but you still had a little bit of an issue with your airflow. What kind of adjustments do you make? Because you come up to Utah at 4,600 degrees, and then you go down to Dixon, which is 0.
Yeah.
Where are you at in Arizona, and what adjustments do you make coming here to Utah and going to California?
So out here, when we had SCA contests out here, I don't ever cook my practice steak. I've never cooked my practice steak. I always used to just throw that in the cooler and I'll take it home. Mm-hmm. Then I started going to Utah, and I got smacked big time for doneness. And I was like, okay, next contest, I'll cook my practice steak. I'll do it. So I cooked my practice steak, and I saw, and then I did my whole routine. I let it rest. I sliced it. I looked at it. And I was like, oh, it's fully gray inside. It's gray all the way through. So now I cook my practice steak. So I'll shoot for a temperature that I'm used to. So I'll start at like say 1:30. That's what I want, and I'll cook my practice steak 30 minutes before, and I'll pull it off 10 minutes, and I'll check and let it rest. And I'll look at it, and if it's still over or under, then I just adjust my temp from there. So, like for instance, in Dixon, I was pulling my steak off at 134, and I sliced it, half cut it, and it was bad. So I'm thinking, okay. So I brought my temperature all the way down. I think it was 129 or 130. I pulled it off. And I let it rest. I think I let it rest for like 6 minutes, I believe, and then I turned it in, and that was I think 6th place.
Mm-hmm.
So I cook your practice steak. I used to never do it. Don't listen to me, but I used to never cook my practice steak. Just go with it. But no, now I always cook it. Now I'm fighting all different kinds of elevations everywhere now.
Yeah, and I did the same thing. I went away from it, and now I'm back at it. And mine happened a lot quicker than yours, just for the same reasons. You're just like, well, I don't know. You just don't know.
When you were telling me that in Dixon, I was like, oh boy, okay, all right, let me try this. And I sliced mine, and it was not good. But
gosh, man, that thing was cooking so fast for me. It was crazy. And up here, it's just like it's like cooking a damn brisket sometimes. You're like, come on, steak.
Yeah,
come on.
Yeah.
Started doing 6
I don't really have any tricks for that, man. I just kind of shoot from the hip, man. I just like out here, you can't really go cook an elevation, because I'm not going to travel to Flagstaff just to cook steak and then come back for practice. But I don't really have any tricks for elevation or anything. But I would just say cook your practice steak and follow your timeline. Cook your practice steak, pull your steak off, slice it, and if it's over, back up maybe 4 degrees, pull it off 4 degrees more or 4 degrees less. And if it's under, then maybe cook it, 4 more degrees, 3 more degrees, and pull it off. You kind of just got to swing at the hip, man.
Do you know Rocky would go to Flagstaff?
Yeah, he would.
He would go there for all the reasons. Elevation, snow. You're like, doing curls with your C4s, like.
So I want to know a little bit about your ride home. Your dad is nipping at your heels on this points chase as well, by the way.
Well, right behind you. So is that where that name came from, by the way? Was that a dig at your dad? You're behind me.
You're behind. Somewhat, yeah. It was him and his best friend's joke. Like my dad would be up 2 beers on him, and he'd be like, "You're behind." My dad's best friend would be up a few beers on him, and he'd be like, "Well, you're behind." And so it was a big inside joke, and he passed away, so we named it after him.
Oh, cool.
But the car ride home.
Yes.
So I would say my dad is the biggest critic. Like he is on my ass, regardless of what. I could take first place, and he'll look at me like, the ribs were still tough. Like they were still tough. You might have gotten first, but they were still tough. Or hey, maybe you should add a little more brown sugar to this, or I told you not to pull your steak at this temp, or whatever it is. I could be 3rd place, and I'd still hear from it. So he likes to drink box wine a lot. That's his go-to. It's box wine. And if he's not drinking his box wine, he's not on his game. And if he's drinking early, if you come by the trailer and he's got a wine in his hand about 11 a.m., then he's on his game. So we'll finish the contest. His box of wine will be done. I'll have the trailer loaded up. I'm ready to drive. We're coming home, and maybe not even 5 minutes, and we're out of the parking lot. He pulls out the old score sheets. Well, now we take pictures of the score sheets. Like, if it's KCBS, we get score sheets. But so he'll pull the score sheets up, and he'll look and be like, well, appearance. And he'll be like, that's not bad. And then he'll go down the list. Well, so-and-so beat you. Rusty beat you. Or, Anthony beat you. He'll just say, oh, those guys all beat you in appearance. And then he'll move to the next one. Oh, well, you did all right there. So, he's just my biggest critic on all that, which is good. I need that. I need somebody to smack me down every now and then. But
so what happens when he beats you, though? You break him down a little bit?
No.
It doesn't go both ways.
No, it doesn't go both ways at all. Like, if he doesn't do well, he's pissed off the whole time. And then, it's just the awkward card like, so how about those ribs? Oh, shut up. He just goes off. But it's pretty interesting, man. Like, I can't wait to see how this year finishes, to see where he finishes at, because it's a pretty hostile environment right now. Because the side category in Vegas is anything cooked or beer munchies. So I was practicing earlier today about this and he just kind of gave me that look, like, oh, okay. And I'm like, hey, no peeking over here. Like, I'm doing my thing. But I've seen a few things that he's working on, and I don't know, man. We'll see.
So
it's
don't
like
register.
World War II in that fucking trailer during contest time. He got his side of the trailer, I got my side of the trailer, and we, it's go time.
I couldn't imagine doing it with my dad. I love the dude. Nice guy, right? I would kill that asshole. Like I would. He'd be on my butt. We used to go fishing all the time. I couldn't do anything right.
Yeah,
get the line tighter. Get the line tighter.
Yep, I know.
You got a fucking snag again?
I told you to leave it in alone.
Back up, I guess. Like, sorry, bro. I'm just trying to fish here.
That's how it is, man. That's how dads are, man. They got to be your number one critic. It's all good.
I'm over here trying to shake off my son.
Right? Hey, classes for $300, man. I'm in. I might need that.
Right?
Just so you guys know, there is what we're talking about. There's a double in Las Vegas. And it's this.
Get the date right. Come on, let's get the date right.
Ooh, I know this one.
Yeah.
November 17th.
Nope.
Damn it.
October 17th.
October 17th.
So close, Rusty. So close.
I don't think people understand that. Like, I love my people on my team, but they're mostly there just to like correct me on everything. That's what they're supposed to do. But my mind sucks. Sorry, my mind sucks. It is what it is. But anyway, on October 17th, there is a double in Las Vegas. You can sign up for it on the Steak Cook-Off Association website. It's going to be really, really fun. Vegas at that time is actually really nice. It's not blistering hot. You don't want to die like in the summertime. Perfect. So you can just head out there if you're in the West Coast. And if you're not, like I said, it's a double. So check it out.
Yeah.
And Kyle will be there with his dad.
I'll be there, man.
He'll be cooking the ancillaries. He'll be cooking the steaks. I most likely will be there, and
I'll be there. Yeah, we registered. So
nice.
It's my wife's birthday, and she's going to Vegas, so I guess I have to. But at the same vein, there is a triple in Washington that I was going to go to on the same day. But
come to Vegas, man.
Yeah, so Vegas is gonna be fun.
Did you guys know I did my wife's 30th birthday? I deserve not to plan it this year, but I deserve not to be there this year. I deserve it. I deserve to have my own thing on her birthday this year.
On her birthday, happy wife, happy life, man.
Hey, I will. Yeah. Okay, well, we're not getting into it. In case for some weird reason she listens to this down the road. So anyway, Kyle, we want to thank you very much for coming on. We wanted to get you on we've talked about this for a long time.
I appreciate it, man. You guys literally have a great podcast, man. Like thanks, man. I love listening to you guys. You guys are a good time, man.
So you can go check out Kyle on Facebook, You're Behind Barbecue, on YouTube at You're Behind Barbecue, also on Instagram at You're Behind Barbecue. But make sure to check out those videos. There's a bunch of really fun ones. Teach you how to do backyard briskets, chicken bombs. You're gonna like that one. And a couple other things. But dude, go right now, people. Do yourself a favor, especially if you have a Vortex on your Weber. If not, go get one and go to his YouTube channel and cook those wings. You're going to love them.
It'd be the best chicken you ever had on there, man.
That's right.
Best chicken.
All right, buddy. We will see you. Most likely, I will see you. Anthony will see you.
I will see you.
Las Vegas.
I'll be there.
All right, man. All right, cool, boys. Hey, I appreciate it.
Cool.
Right, see ya.
Thank you.
All right, guys. That was Kyle Matuszewski from You're Behind Barbecue.